Ronda Rousey has made her Ring of Honor debut. A WWE SmackDown team appears to be splitting up, and an NXT star made their SmackDown debut last night. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the news. We're now a week away from Survivor Series, one of the big four pay-per-views. Things heating up on the blue brand last night. In the opening contest, we saw triple threat action to determine the top contenders for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. It was Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly versus Brawling Brutes. Things not hunky-dory at all for the Brawling Brutes. In a pivotal moment during the match, Butch, attempting a bro kick, inadvertently struck his partner, Ridge Holland. This mishap providing the opportunity that the Street Profits needed, capitalizing on the situation and picking up the W. They are your new number one contenders for those tag straps. After the match, Ridge Holland, he looked dejected, didn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't seem very happy. He left the ring without his little buddy Butch.
He just walked away, and then the sad ending theme from the Hulk TV series started playing. You know what, right? With the Brawling Brutes, when it was first a thing, I remember rolling my eyes so hard and the whole Butch thing, and it was sort of like, but they've really done... they've done the best they can with it, and I think it's ran its course completely, and it's about bloody time we get that Butch name off Pete Dunne, and we just let him be the little killing machine that we all know he wants to be, because he can do it. Just let it happen.
See, I feel a little bit differently because I'm still enjoying them.
Yeah.
I really, really like the whole gimmick.
It's kind of annoying how it's gotten so much better towards this. It's taken so long to get to this point, I guess.
I just feel like they feel like a properly established unit. And there's certainly, I'm in the same boat as you. There's a part of me that's like, well, just let Pete Dunne go and fly.
But Ridge Holland as well, right?
Ridge is decent as well. But I don't know. I've really, really enjoyed them. I think they've got great chemistry together. I think they've put on some absolute bangers of matches. But maybe they've done as much as they want to do with them.
At the same time, though, right, we can sort of draw this out like 90s style. You don't need to go straight to a breakup. It doesn't need to go straight into a situation happening, in the background of Survivor Series or anything. You can draw this out until Mania, I think. You can have kind of it was a mistake, and then it sort of starts getting a bit more tense, and maybe Sheamus is going to try and mediate it.
Yeah.
I think you can
Sheamus
draw
is
it out.
Dr. Shelby.
But I think you can still do some great stuff with them. If you are going to sort of end it, it doesn't need to necessarily end straight away. So I think that there's like a closing window on it, right? It doesn't need to just be this definitive, like, boom, it's done.
It's WWE. It'll be done next week.
It'll be a web exclusive.
I hope so. You know what? I hope Sheamus comes in and they try and repair the faction, and then maybe get a few more months out of it. I love their matches.
Yeah,
I can do without all the Peaky Blinders bollocks. To be honest,
everything needs a rapper, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Where do you see Ridge Holland going after this? Where do you see Butch going, and Sheamus as well?
See, I don't really want to suggest it because it feels like a step down, but at the same time, if it's getting a TV deal, I think Ridge Holland could do a lot in NXT as a third brand. If he goes in there as maybe a bit of a powerhouse, maybe reestablishes himself just a little bit. It doesn't need to be there permanently by any means, but I think then after reestablishing himself as a solo star, coming back into the heavyweight division proper, maybe seeking revenge. If it's, say, Pete that turns on him, and that's the ultimate kind of breakup of the group. There's definitely things you can kind of have them feuding with each other.
I feel like Ridge is the guy that needs that rapper that you're talking about.
Yeah.
He needs something because this has been his best character work.
Oh yeah,
since being in WWE. I would, if you're going to break him up, I'd stick Butch on Raw and do some stuff with Gunther.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, given their past, given everything they've done on the indies, I think there's just so much treading room there, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. And Sheamus can just go wherever. At this point in his career, Sheamus, we've also got an NXT star making their SmackDown debut. This happened last night. GM Nick Aldis issuing a fresh challenge to one Dragon Lee, and it was from the previous brand of Dragon Lee, of course, NXT Axiom, making his in-ring debut on SmackDown. The match was as
you'd expect.
Crazy as you would expect. Almost saw there. Remarkable agility, athleticism, all of those things. Ultimately, Dragon Lee securing the win, and it's called the Operation Dragon. I've messed that up there. Well, how would you pronounce it?
Operacion
Dragon.
Maybe.
Yeah, as dubbed by special guest commentator, in case you missed him, is the DOWG Road Dogg Brian James. So it's good to see him on SmackDown. I don't know if this is going to be a proper thing moving forward. Interestingly, on WWE socials, they did put "Welcome to SmackDown," but that could have just been "Welcome to SmackDown." I'd go back to NXT.
Well, we touched on something interesting yesterday when the news was starting to float around that WWE are interested in Kazuchika Okada, of all people, and there's a lot of thought going into Nakamura's current booking as maybe an example to Okada of like, hey, you know, Japanese talent's being used properly now. If Will Ospreay isn't the surprise at Full Gear tonight, maybe this is because, yes, we've had high flyers in WWE. We've got legends like Ray. We've got a lot of high flying styles, but there's a very specific style that Dragon Lee, that Axiom, that someone like Ospreay or Ricochet provides. Maybe part of me sort of like, is this them kind of advertising, hey, look, we can cater to this sort of stuff?
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't even given that any thought.
And then at the same time, if Ospreay does go to AEW, then it's like, hey, look what we've got.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, what, you think Axiom's going to turn up tonight instead? I was like, what? No, that's a really... maybe the timing is a bit curious. I hadn't thought about that.
Because the thought around the Okada things, obviously, for the longest time under Vince in particular, Japanese talent was used in, very comedic fashion, was never really taken, especially someone with like the scale of Nakamura when he first came in, the way he was booked in NXT compared to main roster, there was definitely a bit of a divide there. So I think doing something like that for, maybe the more athletic talent, this could be a reason.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe it's just it's the home of the cruiserweights again.
Yeah, which I'm well up for that.
Well up for that. Anyway, best of luck to him if he is sticking around. Before we continue, we've got a Black Friday sale on for 1 week only at cultaholicshop.com. 50% off everything if you fancy a hoodie, a buddy, socks with some jizz on them.
Tom has
jizz. Blast socks.
It's like a new way of making one of a kind signed gear, right? Tom has plumbed the depths for some signed Barry the Shark, so I've heard. So there's a lot of stuff on the site right now. If you've been thinking about getting anything, now's your chance.
Before we move on to our main story today, we're going to tell you how the Women's War Games advantage will be decided, just in case you missed that. We now know it's going to be the babyface team of Belair, Flair, Lynch, and Shotzi taking on, of course, Damage Control. If you want to know, this is mad, right? So the men, they got a proper match, decide who gets the advantage. Obviously, it should almost always be the heels. You can vote on WWE.com. This is powered by Ruffles, the potato chips, to determine which team gets the advantage and enters the Women's War Games match first. So you can go on there.
We are in the advertisement era. I can't wait till we start seeing, crazy stuff going on around the ring and wrestlers coming out with like Ruffles and Pringles logos on their gear. And
I just feel a bit bad for it. It's just a bit daft, isn't it?
Yeah, but maybe for OSW we'll get some actual What Bar inspired outfits.
Maybe.
People will start dressing as like a Mars bar.
Maybe. Please vote Damage Control. They're going to rig it anyway, right? It's not a legit pot.
You telling me that Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday...
That was a shoot. Vince insisted that was a shoot. Maybe this is two. Maybe I'm being unfair. Please vote Damage Control. It makes life a lot easier for them. We will finish off with the news. You're probably already aware. It's Ronda Rousey has made her Ring of Honor debut. It was reported last night that she was backstage at AEW, but after the Collision and Rampage tapings, Ronda Rousey made a surprise appearance, and she wasn't just coming out to cut a promo to smile, wave, kiss babies. She joined forces with Marina Shafir, to take on Athena and Billy Starks. This is obviously Rousey had a little thing with Athena earlier in the week. I don't think many people
shot in the face with the belt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Legit. I don't think many people were expecting to see her last night. Rousey and Shafir, again, they emerged victorious. Rousey, they've spent the cash. Bad reputation, Joan Jett's classic, playing as she came to the ring. And there you go. Ronda Rousey, potentially now in Ring of Honor. Is this a one-off? Is this her there moving forward? Who knows?
I think, looking at it, right, when the news was that Ronda was going to start appearing on indie shows and she just popped up and it was like, whoa, okay, this is mental. But at the same time, I could see it, right? I felt that it was kind of, if you looked back at a situation like, and I've brought this up on Weekend News several times now, so apologies to regular Weekend News viewers, but the idea of somebody like Kurt Angle in ECW, right? If he was to do that kind of chipper, babyface stuff he was doing in WWE, somewhere like ECW with that rabid an audience, I think when you have like a passionate audience that maybe are quite split on you, as it seems was the case last night, as I don't think that's a surprise to anybody that the audience was massively split on Ronda. I think that provided that there's a lot of good creative there waiting, you can really build on that. There's a lot you can do, and then you've always got the honky tonk man, haven't you? Don't you? Where you can kind of just try and push her as a babyface if that's what you want to do, but if people aren't going to accept her, you can then just turn her like nuclear heel.
Yeah, for sure. The fans, as you say, they were split last night. They were dueling "We love Ronda, no we don't" chants during the thing. I'm sort of cautiously optimistic about this. Totally get why Tony Khan would want to sign Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Huge name value. But I think back to her time in WWE. It started off up there, and it was one of the best like transition matches that we've sort of ever seen. Like Rousey coming in from different combat sport,
and it started.
She got it, man. It was
the best celebrity appearance for that time, right? Up to that date.
It was so that WrestleMania tag match, the mixed tag, was absolutely fantastic. And then she just it just went downhill.
Hit a lull, didn't it?
Man,
and it started bouncing.
My biggest problem with her is that she just doesn't sell enough. So, like, even if you beat Ronda Rousey, which is obviously a rarity in and of itself, I don't think she makes people
every
look
match.
that good.
She's just doing the Austin Aries. She's getting up. She's flipping people off.
Even the recent thing with Shayna, I don't even think it helped Shayna out that much. Shayna beating her.
I was kind of disappointed with that. I was interested in seeing. I was one of the very few people I think interested in seeing where they could take that more shoot style going, to like where they could take it to, I guess. But I think that all the hopes I had for that around maybe elevating Shayna a bit, as you said, it just sort of dissipated.
Yeah, it did. It should have been a big deal. I think Ronda should have just tapped out.
Yeah. I mean, looking at Ronda's presentation as well, I mean, this could just be because it was sort of a very spur of the moment thing or a very last minute thing. But she didn't have the kind of the makeup, the sort of style that she was in WWE. She came out just in her
the gi
and just sort of standard gear.
Yeah,
but then I guess when you are, one of the most definitive women's actual fighting champions of all time, does that kind of lean into the no selling a bit?
I guess so. Yeah. Like maybe Ronda selling should be a big deal, but she should have done a lot more of that personally, because I just don't think she really helped anyone.
Yeah,
I think she helped Ronda a lot. Anyway, we'll see where we go with that. It's an interesting way to debut her if she is going to end up signing, because I don't think you just stick her on Ring of Honor TV, make a big deal, and bring her out on a Dynamite or whatever. And
she's almost certainly not going to be the big name tonight. After debuting,
well, that's a relief, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think with Tony going one of the best wrestlers, everybody loves them, and then it was Ronda. I think that'd be, because I'm already kind of worried that it's going to split the fan base. Genuinely, I feel like
Ronda being there.
Yeah,
if she is there.
Like moving forward.
I admire her for going and doing non-WWE stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be doing that. She's
loaded.
Not at all. Absolutely
she's
loaded.
Got a family now,
and it's a weird thing where she's got this tremendous love of wrestling, clearly, but this tremendous hatred of wrestling fans.
And now she's gone from a company with very tribal fans to a company with very tribal fans. So it's going to be very interesting the next few months.
We'll see. I personally, I don't think we'll see her for a bit. I think this is a one and done, and maybe she'll come back in a bit. But time will tell, as I say. Thank you very much. Reminder: cultaholic.com Black Friday sale.
Keep it with us tonight for all of your AEW full gear goodness.
Of course, full gear tonight. Tom and Fraser live reacting. You can set a reminder right now. YouTube.com/cultaholic/live. See you in a bit.